You're sitting in the mechanics room. You just came in for something that you thought was gonna be a small, easy fix. And now this guy just walked out and told you it's gonna be $1,200. And now you're sitting at your phone and you're doing the math and you're wondering to yourself, is this it? Is this finally one of those situations where it means that you get to finally get something new? Get a new car, get rid of this piece of junk. And honestly, y'all, like I've been in this waiting room and I know exactly what it feels like. And I can also tell you that a lot of people in this decision make the wrong choice. And it's not because they're dumb, it's because they're emotional. You're stressed out, and a lot of times nobody actually tells you how to think it through. So honestly, that's what this video is. It's gonna be a real one. It's gonna be how to know whether to fix your car or walk away from it. And I'm also gonna tell you how to do this without letting one bad day at the mechanic make a decision that costs you thousands of dollars, guys. So welcome to Zigiwik, and let's get right into the video, man. So to dive in, the reason a lot of people get the decision wrong is because they're making it at the worst possible moment. Like, can you imagine you just got a quote for something that is super expensive? You just came in to get some new tires. Now you got to get an axle, upper control arm, all these things. And on top of this, you're already stressed about money. And you know, that dealership is next door. It's glowing right now for you. And guys, I have to tell you, this is not a moment of clarity. This is a moment of panic. And you know who knows this? Dealerships know this. And they're very aware that the person coming from the repair shop is gonna be in an emotional state where they'll easily make bad choices. And the other reason that people get it wrong is that they compare a repair to nothing. For example, they will hear $1,200 and they'll think, man, that is a lot of money, and that's it. But that's not the best comparison in this situation. Like, the right comparison is $1,200 versus what the alternative actually costs. And when you run the math, if you do the numbers, a lot of the time that number almost always looks different. And then there's this third reason, like, which is, I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about this, and it's that people get emotionally done with their car before the car is actually done, before it's actually broken down and gotten to that point. And a lot of the time it's because they're bored with it. Just to be honest, like, imagine you've been looking at new stuff online. You're feeling a little embarrassed when you pull up to a place because your car is old and it has problems. Maybe it leaks a little bit of oil in the parking spot when you move off. And then this repair bill comes out of nowhere and it becomes an excuse for you. Not the reason, it's the excuse. And that is a very expensive thing to confuse. So before we actually get into the signs, like, I want you to run the math first. If you're in a situation, please look into it thoroughly, because this is the math that changes how you see everything else. If you ran the math and you think it's that time, there are gonna be real situations where it's time to let the car go. And I'm not gonna pretend otherwise. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you to fix every old car. Like, I know I advocate for driving used cars, but sometimes you just gotta let it go. But these situations are more specific than people think. And the first one is something abnormal, like catastrophic engine or transmission failure, especially on a car with no maintenance history. Like, and I want to be specific with the situation. Both parts of that matter. If the engine is gone, but the car has clean maintenance records and it was well taken care of, like, there's an argument for a used engine swap depending on the car, depending on how much you love the car, how much you want to invest in it. But if the engine is gone and the car has been neglected for its whole life, like no oil changes, the coolant probably never been touched, suspension, all these things, like, you're looking at a situation where fixing one thing isn't gonna really fix the underlying problem. Like, just because you fix the engine, 3 months later something else is gonna go, and then you're back in that same position again. So that cycle can be more expensive than just calling it your loss and calling it quits and getting out of there. And the second sign is gonna be structural rust. Like, and I don't mean just like a little bit of surface rust here and there. Like, I mean rust on the frame or the subframe, or like on actual like structural parts of the car. Because once the structure is compromised, it's basically just a total car. Like, the safety of the car is an issue, and then repairs get into the territory where the costs don't really make sense relative to what you've been saving. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if a welder is telling you that the frame is gone, a lot of times there's nothing else to talk about. That is it. And the third sign is when you're doing major repairs in a super short window. Like, when it comes to one expensive repair, like on a solid car, that's a part of ownership. That's something you expect to do. But if you just did a major repair like 3 months ago and now there's already another major repair, and just over the time this car has just been giving you a bunch of problems, you can't seem to catch a break, like, you have to look into that pattern because it matters. And if the information is telling you that the car is in a general state of decline, that's that's different from a single isolated issue. And it's something you need to watch out for, because you always hear people online talk about money pits. This is the example of a money pit. It's something where no matter how much money you dump into it, there's always something else. There's always something else wrong. You need to get out of this car. And guys, the fourth sign is that when you genuinely cannot find or afford the parts anymore, like your car is so rare, so old, either of the two, that parts are just becoming so hard and expensive to find. Like, believe it or not, some cars get old enough that parts are hard to source. Then if they're hard to source, they're gonna be more expensive to source, or they're gonna require somebody with just crazy knowledge to find it. So if maintaining your car is becoming a logistical problem on top of the money problem, then this is something you might want to factor in. And guys, here's the one I actually want you to hear. If you're watching this video, make sure you tune in to this part that I'm about to get into right now, because this is the situation that most people are actually in, believe it or not. Like, one big repair on a car that has otherwise been solid, that's it. That's the most common scenario. And that repair, even if it's expensive, even if it came out of nowhere and it's expensive, like, that almost never means that the car is done. Like, it means that the car is old, or it's getting old, or something finally needed attention that didn't get it earlier. And I'm telling you, like, my TSX has over 200,000 miles on it, and I say this in a lot of videos because that matters. My exhaust rusted and fell off, and before that I had a bad clutch, I had bad engine mounts, and before that it was something else. And every single time I had to do the math, I had to sit down and I had to think, like, yo, for this age and for this miles, this repair is annoying, but it's not that crazy. Like, I mean, my clutch job was expensive. It cost me like $1,400, and I ain't gonna lie, spending $1,400 at once on a car is so, like, nerve-wracking, because you can literally put all this money into the car and then God forbid it gets totaled the next day, then it's like, boom, I'm out of money. So I understand that, but every single time I did the math, and every single time it came out to where it's like, it's more worth it to just fix the car, because, like, I know this car, I've maintained it a lot since I had it, so I know what's wrong, I know what's good with it, and I know what it's been through for the most part, especially during my ownership. So I know that one repair, even though it was expensive to change my clutch, I know that it doesn't mean that the whole thing is collapsing. So if your car has been maintained and your oil changes are on time every single time, all your fluids are taken care of, or you've been paying attention to it and personally you know your car is good, a big single repair bill is usually not the sign that your car is dying. What it is a sign is that your car is wearing out. And the other thing that I want to say is, your mechanic's job is to tell you what's wrong with your car, but it's not always their job to tell you whether fixing it makes financial sense for your situation. So if your mechanic tells you, here's what it needs, that's your information to then make an educated guess. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of people get mad at mechanics when they're just telling them, like, yo, this is going bad and it needs to be changed. And they'll be like, yo, he's scamming me, this and that. And I understand, like, yeah, there are bad mechanics out there, but there's also good mechanics that a lot of times get misjudged. So the decision of whether to fix it or not, that is gonna be your decision. And it needs to be made with the full financial picture in front of you, not just a repair quote in this isolated situation. Because look, run the math. How much have you spent on this car in the last 12 months? And how much would you spend on payments to replace the car in the next 12 months? Or if you had to buy a new car, what's gonna be the gap between that? And that gap is gonna be your answer. And one last thing, and this is gonna be an honest take, y'all. Like, some people are just done with the car. Like, not because the car is done, because they're done with it. Like, they're tired of it, they don't wanna be in it no more, and they've been eyeing something else. Like, this repair is so big to where, like, it just pushes them over the edge and they want that new car. And I wanna say this carefully, because, like, honestly, like, that's okay. You're allowed to make that decision. Like, the last thing I want is for you to watch this video and feel like just because your car isn't falling off the wheels, that you're not allowed to spend your money that you work for to get something that you want. Like, you're allowed to decide that you want something different and you're willing to pay for it. Like, that's a choice you can make, but make it honestly. Like, don't tell yourself that your car was undrivable when you actually mean is that you were done with it. Because if you tell yourself the repair was the reason, you're just gonna end up walking into the next purchase still thinking like someone who doesn't know how to make a car last. And eventually you'll be in that same situation again and again and again, and continue just making not so good financial decisions for your situation. Like, the people, in my opinion, that get financially ahead are the ones who can separate what a car actually needs from what they feel like doing, and they're able to make that decision clearly. Almost nothing that your car needs is actually more expensive than starting over from scratch. Like, my TSX is still running, and I'm gonna drive it until it cannot be fixed no more, and even then I'll probably still try to fix it a little bit more, man. So don't make these decisions in a bad headspace. Like, if you genuinely want a new car, go get your new car, but don't use a repair as an excuse. Own your decisions. If you want that car, go get it and be proud of getting it. Be proud of making that step to go get in the car that you want. And guys, that's really gonna wrap this up, man. If you made this far, thank you for watching. We're gonna go ahead and tap out. I know this video was a little bit of a shorter one, y'all, and man, my schedule is kind of cooked, but I just had to drop this because, yeah, I know a lot of people are in that situation. Like, sometimes, especially with these older cars, sometimes you get a curveball thrown at you, and you got to make the right decision, guys. So just make sure you be safe out there. If you're driving, be safe. Mother's Day is coming up. Make sure y'all go have fun with your moms. Let me know down below what y'all think, man. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video, guys. Zigiwik is out.